Well, that escalated quickly. J2 just jumped up a notch here at the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games. We're inside the Rogue tent at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Here, I'm Sean Woodland with Annie Sakamoto and Chase Ingraham. We want to thank Noah Ohlsen, or not, well, we want to thank Noah Ohlsen for the memories. We want to thank Josh Bridges for stopping by and joining us here on the show. But just really fast, I mean, that was one of those moments where I think we're going to look back in Games history and just remember where Noah Ohlsen got his first event win.
Yeah, I looked down and I had chicken skin up and down. If anybody deserved an event win, it was definitely Noah Ohlsen, especially on the heels of the second place in the push, bar muscle up, sled push event. So really excited for him. And I'll be honest, I'm excited to see somebody else wear the white jersey tomorrow morning.
Second time in Noah Ohlsen's career that he's been the overall leader. The first was in 2014. That's when Rich Froning, of course, won his fourth. But we'll see how he handles it this time because he has another icon of the sport trying to take that thing back from him. We mentioned that Mat Fraser made a mistake earlier today. We can now show that to you in case you have not seen it yet. This was during the Ruck event where Fraser, during the run, had one of the weighted bags fall out of his ruck, did not put it back in. You'll see it clearly fall out, and then Fraser will take a look back and see it, and then he continues to run. They penalize him 60 seconds. That dropped him from 6th to 17th in the event, and that's what narrowed the gap, and that's what allowed Noah Ohlsen now to unofficially overtake him on the overall leaderboard. I mean, just a rare mistake from Mat Fraser.
It is, and we've seen a couple of those this weekend from Matt, and you know, as we put it so well, it's like, who can beat Mat Fraser? It's really Mat Fraser, but I don't think it was anything that was done on purpose. For me, to me, it looked like something fell out of his pack. He felt something, looked back for it, and then kept going, but it's the mistakes that I think are uncharacteristic to Mat Fraser.
Yeah, but we still have plenty of competition to go. He is right where he needs to be, and I know that he has set the expectations so high that we get a little shocked when he's not leading. But there are a lot of fit guys out there as well, but Mat Fraser now has his work cut out for him. The women are up next. Let's check out the standings after 4 events for them. Tia Toomey, she's back in front. Amanda Barnhart, kind of her climb up the leaderboard has mirrored that sled push as she now sits in second place overall. And this is going to be an interesting event for her because last year it was that upper body pulling that really cost her. She says she has shored that up, and now we're going to find out.
Well, and last year she also had a biceps injury going into the 2018 games. So let's assume that played into her upper body pulling weakness, that she has shored that up. You know, to be honest, her 19th place on the legless rope climb event doesn't totally prove to me that she's shored that up, but let's assume that she's at least better than she was and she can hang on to that second place position.
Just a reminder, the event is on your screen. It's a 20-minute AMRAP of 3 gymnastics and movements. What are the keys to this event?
It's the same thing we saw on the men's side, is that for an event like this with so many high-skilled gymnastics, is stick to the pace that is your pace. The biggest problem you'll see is there's a lot of different athletes with different strengths. This is a pretty niche style of an event that plays to these smaller, more gymnastics savvy athletes, is stick to your own pace. The other one is to have good quality movement. We talked earlier about getting 20 rounds is 300 pull-ups, 200 pistols, and 100 handstand push-ups. If you have bad movement, that compounds the difficulty of the reps with not just volume, but challenging effort. So make sure you have good quality reps, and that'll last you longer for an event that lasts 20 minutes long.
We have 30 athletes in the field right now for the women. We are going to eventually be cutting down to 20, and that cut is looming. Here are the women who need to do some work here to keep themselves in the competition. Carolyn Prevost right now is on the right side of the cut line with 227 points. Danny Spiegel and Colleen Foch are 2 athletes who need to make up a lot of ground here. And look, Annie Thorisdottir is in danger of missing the cut. That is shocking.
Well, she's in danger, but Sara is sitting at 25, right? Annie's teetering up there right around 15th, right? But we still have Sara below what the cut line's going to be. We don't know if they're cutting after this particular event, but when you see Sara Sigmundsdottir 5 spaces below the cut line, 14 points away from getting herself back to where it needs to be, this is going to be a tough event, I think, for Sara Sigmundsdottir, because she's one of the longer, taller, bigger athletes in the field, and we saw what it did to Brent Fikowski. I'm not saying it's going to have the same thing to Sara Sigmundsdottir, but if she does not have her head on straight, and she watches something, and she'll probably be in the first heat, That's the other thing for Sara Sigmundsdottir, is now she has nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
She's shooting blind, she has a lot of pressure on her, and it's not like she's handled herself well mentally in the first 4 events of the weekend.
Yeah, Sara Sigmundsdottir, I don't think we could have imagined going into this a scenario where she didn't wind up in the final 10, giving everything that we have seen from her this season, but here we are, and that's why they play the game. Sara Sigmundsdottir has some work to do here now as we head back inside the Coliseum with the CrossFit World feed for women's event number 5, as the women for the first of 2 heats are set to take the floor. Mackenzie Riley getting introduced. But getting back to Sara Sigmundsdottir, last year she could kind of blame it on an injury. We knew she wasn't right. She was supposedly healthy coming into this.
Well, and she looked great at the Vogue Invitational. I mean, really, I think, yesterday morning, we were all saying she was the one, if anyone, that was going to be able to beat Tia Toomey. So yeah, a little odd to see her sitting where she is right now.
I think the fact is that we're talking about this and we're so concerned because she's not just a favorite athlete of the community, but she was a favorite, and we said top 10, she was a favorite to win the whole thing.
Sure.
Right.
If Sara got Sara's mental game right and got physically healthy, she was totally capable of winning the game. She has that ability. Now we're talking about her sitting in 25th place. It just blows my mind.
Here are your overall standings coming into event number 5. Amanda Barnhart pulled within 13 points of Tia Toomey for the overall lead, courtesy of her win in the sprint couplet. Kristin Holte has been hanging around the top 10, and now she is 3rd place overall. Karissa Pearce led at 1 point. She sits in 4th, and it's Jamie Greene rounding out the top 5. But there is the test. It's Mary, and we're going to work for all 20 minutes in 3 very taxing gymnastics movements.
And one of the names that we can see right here on the placards is Samantha Briggs, and she's another athlete that's actually kind of on the bubble. She's flirting with that cut line, sitting in 18th place right now. Now, considering there's so much upper body pulling and that Sam Briggs does a lot of pulling, I'm going to say that this could be a good event to hopefully push her up and away from that cut line.
Overall standings into lane assignments here, and the women who are closest to the overall leaders will be in the middle of the floor. So Karen Freyova had a great performance in that last event, as did Colleen Foch and Meg Reardon. They had that fantastic race to the finish. And then Sara Sigmundsdottir will be in lane 13. And the good thing for Sara is that if you know that she gets out front here, this crowd is going to get behind her. They will will her through this event.
Without a doubt. I mean, you found that cheers for Noah Ohlsen were loud. The other athlete I'm looking at in terms of getting worried about the cut is Dani Spiegel.
Right.
She's sitting outside in 21st place. Colleen Foch is in the mix there, but Spiegel, who won the Open as the U.S. national champion, really hasn't gotten the events, I would say, that more geared towards her wheelhouse, but she needs to make sure she has a good event here, or we might not be seeing her on Saturday if they make cuts after this event.
Heat number 1 of the 5th event of the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games for the women is underway. 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, 15 pull-ups for 20 minutes. It's the workout known as Mary.
Right off the bat, you want to see a conservative pace. We'll say, a lot of ways when you try to game plan for events like this, 20 minutes long, hundreds upon hundreds of repetitions, is that look at what one round might take unbroken. You're talking roughly about 30 to 40 seconds. Now extrapolate that of what some of the best scores would be, 20 rounds. Right? So when you see that there's room for rest, there's room for breaks, and there's room for a nice, easy tempo. So sometimes it makes me question their game plans. It's when they're ripping off 40 to 45 second rounds in the first 3, when you're not trying to get 30. Right? That's a 30 round pace you're currently at.
But I think even you were talking about it earlier, it may benefit some of them to get a little bit ahead of the pace early on while they have the adrenaline, and then use some of that time that they've banked to get a little more rest on the later rounds. There's just so many ways.
Screen. Sorry,
no,
Danny.
it's okay.
Go ahead.
There's just so many ways that you can actually play the pacing of this workout.
Caroline Reason-Thibault, Fee Saghafi, Bethany Shadburn, and Carolyn Prevost are all through 2 rounds. Sara Sigmundsdottir is also through 2 rounds as well. About 11 women who are on the lead pace right now. Courtney Haley's also one of them. She's through 2 rounds. Early on here in the first of 2 heats in event number 5, and the cut to 20 athletes is looming.
And that just plays a tough game in your head, because when I went to the games eons ago, I was facing a cut event. And it was an event that played to my strengths, and it was kind of like halfway through when you see everyone kind of either doing as well or blowing by you and knowing how well you actually needed to do, there is a moment of, defeat mid-event. Mine only lasted 7 minutes. This is 20 minutes. I can't imagine the headspace that some of these athletes are going to be in the middle of this event.
Caroline Reason-Thibault and Courtney Haley, Bethany Shadburn, Fee Saghafi, Carolyn Prevost are all through 3 rounds. Sara Sigmundsdottir is also through 3. She's in round 4 right now. So no one has really separated herself from the pack here as we're through 3 of 20 minutes of event number 5. Sara Sigmundsdottir again on the wrong side of the cut line right now. 25th place overall. Has to finish towards the top of this heat to help change that.
And we say cut line to 20 as 30 come in. Only, they've cut after every single event so far this weekend. So I can only assume that that's going to happen after this one. We don't know for sure, so we can't say, but you can't approach this event with the idea of like, oh, maybe or maybe not. Just assume that it will.
Right, exactly. To quote Apollo Creed, there is no tomorrow, Chase. There is no tomorrow. Bethany Shadburn, Caroline Reason-Thibault, Fee Saghafi, Carolyn Prevost, and Courtney Haley all on round number 5. As it's still pretty even as far as the lead pace is concerned. That's Colleen Foch on the left of your screen. Next to her in the black top and white shorts is Sara Sigmundsdottir. Fee Saghafi's in the middle. She is in the green top and long pants. It's Caroline Reason-Thibault, who is in round 6 along with Fee Saghafi and Bethany Shadburn. So now those 3 have separated themselves a little bit here.
And this could be a great event for Fee Saghafi. She's a smaller athlete, so things like handstand push-ups and pull-ups really favor her.
Approaching the 5-minute mark, so the quarter marker here of event number 5. It's merry. It's as many rounds as possible of 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, and then 15 pull-ups. Caroline Reason-Thibault, middle of your screen in the shirt with no sleeves and the green shorts. She is your leader right now in this heat. Samantha Briggs in the green top and white shorts, hopping up on the pull-up bar. She's on the right of your screen. That is Caroline Reason-Thibault, who is through 6 rounds. We have 3 athletes who are on round 7s. Reason-Thibault, Saghafi, and Shadburn. Prevost and Sigmundsdottir are finishing up round 6. They're still in round 5 right now. So everybody on either round 6 or 7, there's a handful of athletes who are still on round number 5 though. So not the separation that we saw from the men, at least early on in this event. This is the first of 2 heats for the women.
And we're early on in this heat even. We're only 5 minutes in. So it kind of makes sense that there's a little more clog, as you might want to say, between all these ladies. I think like Josh was saying when he was with us earlier, it's at that 10-minute mark where a lot of ladies are going to start to pull away from the pack.
Danny Spiegel's on the right of your screen.
She's way down in this heat, currently sitting and tied for 12th in the first heat. There's only 15. Spiegel's 22nd on the leaderboard, about 8 points out of 20th. Caroline Prevost holding on to that 20th place position. So kind of that key piece of this heat is what is Caroline, or where is she in terms of securing that 20th spot? What Sara Sigmundsdottir needs to keep, Sara needs to go out and win this heat. Let's just make it very simple.
There's
she needs
no
to win
question.
this heat, and she needs to win it by dominating fashion, because if she paces off heat 1, it's not going to work.
Right.
She doesn't have the athletes in this heat, unlike we saw on the men's side, to push the pace that she needs to get out of 25th place. She needs to move up 6 spots after this event.
Caroline Reason-Thibault is on the right of your screen, as she is now through her 8th round as we hit the 7-minute mark, 13 minutes to go here. And still not really separating herself. Bethany Shadburn and Fisa Goffi have also completed 8 rounds. Sam Briggs and Sara Sigmundsdottir are getting set to complete their 8th rounds. Sara Sigmundsdottir, 25th place overall, back to the handstand push-up wall, as she is now in round number 9. But falling behind Caroline Reason-Thibault here, but we still haven't even hit the halfway point of this event. Fisa Goffi back up on the pull-up bar right of your screen.
There's names that she needs to beat while she's in this heat, and they're all on this screen. Bethany Shadburn, right there in the mix, just ahead of her, just behind her. She's sitting in 2nd overall. Reason-Thibault's ahead of her. Briggs, Karn Frey. All right, so, I mean, hopefully you did a little leaderboarding coming into this event and knowing what it takes. But if I were a coach and just sitting there, it's like, we're going to make, you have no choice, right? Make your move when you need to make your move. Obviously, where Sigmundsdottir is sitting now really is irrelevant until we get past that 10-minute mark. Right? And that's where the event really starts to take shape, within the last 5 minutes especially. So we still got plenty of time for things to change. I just hope this trend isn't happening the other direction, because part of that for Sara is that girls are going to go out faster than her. They just are. You got to make sure is that you don't let that bother you too soon and have that kind of like snowballing effect. It's like, oh, I'm falling behind. It's like, no, you're not behind. Right? You're where you need to be.
Yep.
Make sure you see it like that. Then in the last 5 minutes, turn it on.
Caroline Reason-Thibault, she's in round 10, as is Bethany Shadburn and Fisa Goffi. Sara Sigmundsdottir is a little behind them.
I find it interesting seeing strict handstand push-ups. Like, Justin is like, I'd probably do that. I was like, I guarantee 1,000% wouldn't do it. I know they're faster.
Right.
But they're not easier.
Right.
And it's not really a time and attention thing, because you're resting on your head when you're doing a kipping handstand push-up to begin with. It's like, for me, it's just make the movement easier. It doesn't have to be faster. If this was I would say this, if this were a 10-minute event, then strict would make a little bit more sense, because time matters. Here, it's conditioning.
Well, and it's the overall stamina of your shoulders as well, right? So if you kip, you're taking so much work out of your shoulders that you're saving for those pull-ups.
Now, Sam Briggs, 18th place, so she's on the right side of that cut, so she's got to hold off a lot of the women who are chasing her here if she wants to survive the cut down to 20 athletes. So she is one of the athletes here who's on the bubble, but on the right side of it.
And she definitely can. I mean, you're talking about an event that lasts 20 minutes and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions.
I think she'll be fine.
Handstand push-ups and pistols and lots of pull-ups, right? I mean, it's an event that you're not too worried about Sam Briggs surviving on.
Caroline Reason-Thibault is on round 12. Sam Briggs starting to creep up a little bit. She's on round 12. Bethany Shadburn is there. Fisa Goffi's fallen off the lead pace a little bit, but Sara Sigmundsdottir is holding steady right now. Right now in 5th place in this heat. We are past the halfway point, so about 9.5 minutes to go. After 15 rounds, they'll walk to the other end of the floor and continue the work there. Sam Briggs working through her pistols, now hopping up to the pull-up bar. She's on the left side of your screen. Caroline Reason-Thibault in the dark shirt and green shorts on the right. She is your leader.
And I do believe at regionals we used to call her the silent assassin. She is a sneaky one, Caroline Reason-Thibault, and
she is in 17th place overall coming into this event.
And I think this event favors her and her ability to stay above that 20-person cut line for sure.
Sara Sigmundsdottir in the white shorts, dark top. She's on the pull-up bar, blonde woman with a ponytail. is continuing what seems to be a pretty steady pace for her, breaking up the pull-ups. But she is right now on round number 12. Caroline Reason-Thibault is in round 13. Sam Briggs, Bethany Shadburn, and Fisa Goffi, they are also in round 13. That's Bethany Shadburn with the tape on her back and the purple wristbands, right next to Caroline Reason-Thibault. Two of them facing each other as they work through this 13th set of pull-ups.
And it looks like Sam Briggs might be making a move right there. She just overtook Caroline Reason-Thibault by going unbroken on that set of pull-ups right there.
So Sam Briggs now in the lead. She's through 13 rounds. We're past the 12-minute mark. Briggs 18th place overall, trying to keep herself alive here. So as Caroline Reason-Thibault decided to take some more frequent breaks on the pull-up bar, that opened the door for Samantha Briggs. There's Danny Spiegel.
Danny's really going to have to pick it up if she wants to move herself to the other side of the line.
22nd overall coming into this event, and she is way off the lead pace. So Spiegel is right now on round 11. Sara Sigmundsdottir is in round 14, so she is close to the lead pace.
That was just some slow pistols, though. And just the volume that comes up, it's like, there's really two different pistols, right? There's you can do them, and then there's they look like air squats.
Right.
Right.
The can do them, this is a hard event.
Right.
For those that can just do them. But it's the ones that can do them well, because this, we talk about how it's a pull-up workout. Losing time and just bleeding time on pistols, that'll make or break it too.
And you see what Sara Sigmundsdottir has done during her career. She's been in the games 5 straight times. She's been on the podium, been inside the top 5 multiple times. And again, I don't think there's anybody here in Madison, Wisconsin who thought that she would be in danger of being cut this early. Sam Briggs is on round number 15. She is your leader. Sara Sigmundsdottir now just starting round number 15 as well for her. She's on the far right side of your screen. As Sam Briggs is done with 15 rounds. And this crowd loves them some Sam Briggs. 37 years old. She qualified 3 ways for the CrossFit Games. Could have competed as a master, could have competed on a team, could have competed as a female individual.
She also won 2 sanctioned events as an individual and again on a team.
It's incredible. Now here comes Bethany Shadburn. She's through 15 rounds, and Caroline Reason-Thibault is behind her. Her top 3, Samantha Briggs, Bethany Shadburn, and Caroline Reason-Thibault. Bethany Shadburn, Reason-Thibault, and Briggs are all right next to each other in the overall standing. So they are on the right side of the cut line right now, and certainly helping that cause as they are through 15 rounds, and now just 5 minutes to go.
And we said that now is the time for Sara.
Right.
Now is the time. You needed to beat these people to ensure an opportunity to get in, and we're running out of it.
Well, here
Sara
she comes.
Sigmundsdottir is,
she's on the other side of the Coliseum, which is good news for her.
Yeah, she is now on round 16, but she is almost a full round behind the women that got here before her. Now Fisa Goffi is there as well. Sara Sigmundsdottir better find beast mode quickly. Samantha Briggs, right side of your screen, starting round 17.
And it's like you were saying, Chase, for those where pistols are easy, it can actually become almost a break, right? You're away from your shoulders for a little bit. It's almost like you can just shake everything out and relax. For those where pistols are hard, you're just going from labored movement to labored movement to labored movement.
4 minutes to go. Sara Sigmundsdottir starting to run out of some time here. But the good news is she is still ahead of many of the women who are on the wrong side of the cut line, so that will help her. Fisa Goffi's in 29th. So she needs to make up some ground as well. But Sara is ahead a lot of the women that she needs to beat in order to have a chance to stay alive.
But she can't have Sagaffi beat her. You can't have anyone below you jumping.
Right.
Right? These 3 athletes that she's chasing, it's okay if they beat Sara.
Right.
Because they're already ahead of her,
Yes.
above the cut line. Now, it would make it a lot easier if she beat them. But you can't have someone who's 6 spots behind you beat you.
Yeah.
That's what cannot happen, especially with 1 heat left to go. We still have 15 more athletes that are getting ready to do this event that watched what you did.
Right. And this one is going to come down to reps. I mean, just
Right,
a couple
every
reps are
single
going to
rep,
make a difference
exactly.
here. Carol-Ann Reason-Tebow, Bethany Shadburn, and Sam Briggs all in round 18. The leaders are Samantha Briggs. She's hopping up onto the pull-up bar. Bethany Shadburn's behind her. She is on her 18th round of pistols. And Samantha Briggs, her 18th set of 15 pull-ups, 2.5 minutes to go.
So impressive. I think she got about 11 pull-ups in right there.
You're looking at 270 total pull-ups up
Right.
into this point after 18 rounds.
Sara Sigmundsdottir, she's starting round number 18, but has not been able to gain ground on Shadburn or Briggs, as Briggs on the far side of the floor has now kicked back up to start round number 19. Ten pistols for Samantha Briggs here in round number 19, less than 2 minutes to go. One heat remains after this. And then if cuts are made, we're down to 20 athletes. Briggs and Shadburn getting set to finish up round number 19. Shadburn will break on the pull-up bar. That's Carolyn Prevost in the green top. And she right now is the woman who sits on the cut line in 20th. Shadburn is done, and she has now taken the lead from Samantha Briggs, but only by a couple of reps. Shadburn on to the pistols. .45 Sigmundsdottir is on the other end of the floor, and Sara Sigmundsdottir right now is in 5th place in this heat. Less than 30 to go. Here's the fight for first place in the heat. Bethany Shadburn has overtaken Samantha Briggs, 15 seconds to go. This is round number 20 for Shadburn. Briggs has got to get back to the pull-up bar, and that is going to let Bethany Shadburn take the opening heat of event number 5.
Very impressive from Bethany Shadburn. You know, she was ahead for a good portion of it. Sam overtook her right around that 14th, 15th round, and then right at the end there, she crept back in and tore her hand.
Shadburn with a little bit of a tear on her right hand, but it's probably going to be worth it because she's going to be safe.
Yep.
Will Sara Sigmundsdottir, though? She's going to have some real nervous 20 minutes now as she watches heat number 2 come out. And this may be the last time this year that we're watching her walk off this floor.
I mean, anything can happen, but you're asking for people to have disastrous
She's going to need a lot of help.
Results.
She's going to need a lot of help. 25th place coming in.
Here's the thing with Shadburn is that she came in 16th place, but only 7 points out of 10th.
Right.
Like, she had a shot to get in the top 10, and after this performance from start to finish, she was always in the mix for the top 3. But towards the end, she had broken the round before. She went unbroken on her final set of pull-ups at the end in the final few seconds to ensure she would keep herself in front of Sam Briggs. So that near 20 round mark for Bethany Shadburn, that, you know, we said how close the points are from her just trying to get out of the top 20. She might get herself close to the top 10.
Bethany Shadburn gets some insurance with that heat win. Now she'll wait and see where she will end up overall in the event. She was through 20 rounds. Sam Briggs was on her 20th round. As we now await the second and final heat, but I still cannot get over the fact that we are actually talking about the possibility of Sara Sigmundsdottir getting cut at this 5 minutes. But
well, and looking at the leaderboard right now, it looks like Fee Saghafi is the only one below Sara Sigmundsdottir that did better than her. So again, she has to hope that there's some ladies in this next heat that do worse, and you never want to have to hope that others do poorly.
Right.
You know, that's not a good position to put yourself in.
Women in the final heat, the top 15 women overall, Katrin Davidsdottir and Annie Thorisdottir taking the floor. They are among the women in this final heat. But Annie Thorisdottir, she's not safe either. 15th place overall, still has some work to do. And surprising that she's not inside the top 10 right now. Emily Rolfe taking the floors. She won event number 3 earlier today, that ruck run. There's Alessandra Pacelli, who's been hanging around the top 10 for most of this competition. Here's a look at the overall standings. It's Tia Toomey, who comes in with a 13-point lead over a hard-charging Amanda Barnhart. Kristin Holte, she is in the top 3. Karissa Pearce has been on top of the overall leaderboard. She now sits in 4th place, and it's Jamie Greene out of New Zealand who rounds out the top 5. Laura Horvath, she is inside the top 10. She has been making a slow but steady charge
yet
up the leaderboard, but here come the handstand push-ups.
Here come them handstand push-ups.
This is the answer that you've been waiting for.
Yep.
Has she fixed this? You're going to find this out right here.
And we're talking about the easiest version you could possibly give her is just 5 kipping handstand push-ups. I mean, yes, it's spread out over 20 minutes, but this is one where we need to see if Laura Horvath has, and we know she's worked on it, but have you filled the hole when it's got to the highest level? That's a different story. I'm curious to see how Amanda Barnhart as well.
That's the other question mark here.
We said this is a pull-up event. When it all comes down to it, all these women are amazing, upside down, pistols, no problem. But the volume of pulling that is in this event takes a massive toll on these athletes.
I was able to talk to her earlier in the season, and she said that she knew that that was a weakness. She did upper body pulling every day, and she says that she has addressed that problem. It is now a strength. Now it will be on display. Well, she has a chance of possibly overtaking Tia Toomey here.
Right, and that's going to be really important for her, because if you look at the 3 ladies right underneath her, in Kristin Holte, Karissa Pearce, and Jamie Greene, those are athletes that I assume will do very well at this. So Amanda Barnhart hopefully did really shore up that weakness.
And before we shoot ourselves in the foot, Kristin Holte is also in this heat.
That's a very good point.
Want to get your back there.
Yes, thank you. Kristin Holte, who just is continuing to do Kristin Holte things. This is sort of the dilemma that we always face with Val Vobril. You didn't talk about her, and all of a sudden she's 3rd place overall.
And the other one is Karissa Pearce.
Right.
We were talking about flipping her upside down and then doing some high volume pulling. Karissa Pearce is another one that can fight for that 1st place position in this event.
First time under the lights for these women. It's the 2nd and final heat of event number 5. 20 minutes, as many rounds as you can possibly do of 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, 1-legged squats, and then 15 pull-ups. The score to beat belongs to Bethany Shadburn, who almost got through 21 rounds. And now Karissa Pearce, we know she can do some upper body pulling. She's moving to the pull-up bar.
There's Danielle Brandon on the left side of the screen.
Certainly need to be paying attention to her. Haley Adams on the far left of your screen. She was in the top 10, one of the youngest competitors in the field here, a former CrossFit Games teen champion.
Kristin Holte choosing to go with strict handstand push-ups to start there. But again, I think Kristin Holte is another lady who has great upper body strength.
1 minute down, and everyone is into round 2 right now. Jamie Greene on the left of your screen, hopping up to the pull-up bar, and there goes Kristin Holte. Kristin Holte is only 10 points back of Barnhart for 2nd, and 23 points back of Tia Toomey for the overall lead.
Notice the kipping style of Jamie Greene. It's almost a straight-legged butterfly.
How does that help you?
I don't know. I've actually never seen that before.
Karissa Pearce now on to her third round of 10 pistols, and here comes Amanda Barnhart. She's right next to overall leader Tia Toomey, who's in the white top and red shorts and right in the middle of the floor. Karissa Pearce, who was in first place overall after the first two events, and then surrendered that overall lead after event number 3. Now currently sits in 4th, but only 1 point back of Kristin Holte for 3rd, and only 24 points back of Tia Toomey for the overall lead. Jamie Greene, she is on to her 4th round. Karissa Pearce is on to her 4th round. Now Brooke Wells, Tia Toomey, Annie Fragkow, and Kristin Holte.
I was watching Karissa Pearce do handstand push-ups, and she's using that strict handstand push-up technique. As we said before, it's faster, but it's a lot harder. With the caveat of your name being Karissa Pearce, I think you're safe to maybe opt for the strict handstand push-up option when you're that proficient.
We want to thank our broadcast partner CrossFit for providing us with these pictures that we have been bringing to you the last 2 days, as Kristin Davidsdottir and Annie Thorisdottir on the pull-up bar together. They are right now in their 4th rounds. And Jamie Greene, though, is your leader along with Karissa Pearce there in round 5. And now Annie Thorisdottir starting round 5, along with Kristin Davidsdottir, 2 women who are outside the top 10. Thorisdottir in 13th, Davidsdottir in 15th.
Annie having actually surprisingly fast handstand push-ups right there. Very impressive.
Kristin Davidsdottir so far, her best finish was 6th. That was in the Ruck event. Looking to score some points and get herself closer to the top 10. Davidsdottir done, and on to round 6. Jamie Greene and Karissa Pearce still your leaders, and this is Laura Horvath, who is still on round number 4 and falling way back of the pack here.
And that was the worry about coming in to this particular event, and it's, we know obviously handstand push-ups, it's only 5, she's not going to really struggle there, but it's the volume. It's the volume of repetitions over the extent of the amount of time of which they have to do it on. And when you look at those handstand push-ups, right, there's nothing technically wrong with them, there's no flaws, but they are, every rep looks like effort.
Right.
And when you're talking about handstand push-ups, I mean, look at the left and right. You see Tia Claire on the left, and Karissa Pearce, that is effortless. That's what you want to see when you have proficiency in a particular movement. And that's where Laura Horvath needs to work on. I mean, I know she's working on it, right? We say it ad nauseum, but that's the difference.
Right. Amanda Barnhart got hit with a no rep on the pull-up. Amanda Barnhart is falling off the lead pace as well right now. She's in round 6, while Jamie Greene, Karissa Pearce, Annie Thorisdottir, Toomey, and Holte are all on their 7th rounds. So it doesn't look like Amanda Barnhart, unless she finds another gear here, is going to be able to overtake Tia Toomey for the overall lead, but Kristin Holte is still very much in that fight.
Absolutely, but when you look at this event, this is a Mighty Mouse event, right? The smallest, most gymnastically savvy, lightest people are going to crush this event, as long as they have the fitness behind it. But they have a massive advantage when it comes to this. So when you see, you know, maybe Amanda Barnhart behind the rest of the field, or Sigmundsdottir, you know, if Annie's moving slow, it's like they're just taller, they're just bigger athletes, and you are at a mechanical disadvantage when you come to events like this, but you need to have them. It's the same reason why we put a barbell by itself out on the competition floor. And so there's some balance in there, but it's okay to say that you know, they're going to struggle here just off the fact that it's not that they're not fit enough. They're just not built for this event.
Haley Adams is also fallen behind the overall leaders here. And Danielle Brandon, she's on round 6. She is in the green shorts, walking back to the pull-up bar on the right of your screen. Amanda Barnhart continues to break up her pull-ups, and she is getting left behind the 2 women right next to her, Tia Toomey and Kristin Holte. Karissa Pearce is also on round 9. Annie Thorisdottir on round 9. So now some leaders starting to separate themselves from the pack here as we're past the 6.5 minute mark. Score to beat. Bethany Shadburn, who got through 609 repetitions. She was into her 21st round.
Karissa Pearce on the far right leading the pack. That pack right behind her are very close together. We're talking about Jamie Greene. Annie Thorisdottir is in the mix with this group. We haven't said that enough because she's on the far left side of the competition floor.
Yeah, Thorisdottir with this effort, long way to go here, but 13th place overall right now, could crack the top 10. That is home base right there. You're in the top 10.
Right.
No one can touch you, but you're outside. You are in danger of not finishing this competition.
We're playing a massive game of musical chairs.
That's a good point.
But I think you're right. I think for a lot of these athletes, being top 20 is not enough. They really want to see themselves in that top 10 position to assure that they're going to make it through not just the end of the day today or tomorrow, but into Sunday.
Right, a lot of these athletes in this heat in these center lanes aren't just wanting to make the top 10. Right? We have 10 athletes that want to win and have the potential to win the CrossFit Games.
Amanda Barnhart has fallen way off the lead pace as she turns and walks back to the handstand push-up, while Barnhart right now 12th place in this heat. She's on round number 8. The leaders are in round 11. And that is Karissa Pearce, Jamie Greene, now Tia Toomey as well, starting round 11. Karissa Pearce on the right of your screen, she is well into round 11, now onto her final movement, halfway through, 15 reps down, 15 reps to go. 8.5 minutes gone. 20 total minutes here. And it's back and forth. 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, 15 pull-ups for 20 minutes.
Very impressive from Karissa Pearce, still going unbroken on those pull-ups through the 10th, 11th round.
Kristin Holte has fallen off the pace a little bit as well. It's Karissa Pearce and Jamie Greene leading the way here. And Karissa Pearce in 4th place overall, just 24 points back at Toomey for the overall lead, just 1 point behind Kristin Holte for 3rd, and 11 points back of Amanda Barnhart for 2nd. Jamie Greene in 5th is 20 points back of Pearce, who sits in 4th.
There's something I just noticed as Katrin Davidsdottir's kicking off the wall. She got a no rep on her first one because of the hand position of the box, right? The fingers can extend out, but the palm can't. Katrin is actually curling her fingers at the bottom. Maybe is that there's just no judgment to be needed in that position. I don't see any actual mechanical advantage or saving anything to do something like that. I think she's having some strict reps called on the handstand push-ups to go to something like that with a closed fist.
Well, now this is the difference between training and competition.
Right.
I don't know how many athletes train with this box, and you have a comfortable hand position. How does this mess that up?
Oh, it changed it completely. It's almost like going from the handstand push-up off the floor to parallettes.
Right.
It makes a massive difference, and there's a massive advantage based off the width that you're allowed to go.
Well, and I have a great coach, Jason Leiden, and he says, you know, we never train to movement standards. You always train to the highest standard of movement, because if you're ever given a movement standard, you will always be able to adjust and be able to work within that movement standard.
And to the point is, like, I know Katrin trains above the line. Right? You don't have a coach like Ben Bergeron that's just going to let things slide by. I guarantee you, or you would hope, that all of these athletes have a box taped on every single one of their mats. I know I do it in my affiliate just for their general population. It's like, you will do it this way because
my house, my rules.
I said so.
Tia Toomey is trying to catch up to Karissa Pearce and Jamie Greene and hang on to her overall lead, because Kristin Holte was on that lead pace, but it's now a two-woman battle for first place in this heat between Karissa Pearce on the right of your screen and then Jamie Greene on the left. Amanda Barnhart, who is between Tia Toomey and Karissa Pearce on the right, she is continuing to lose ground, and she is now fallen back in the pack. Kristin Holte is trying to stay even with Greene and Pearce, who are at the pull-up bar at the same time here in their 14th round. Kristin Holte right now 3rd place in this heat, Tia Toomey is in fourth.
And I think for Greene on the far left side of your screen is that she is actually having a much quicker pace in the middle portion of this round, and that's the pistols. Karissa Pearce is faster on the handstand push-ups, but taking her breaks on the pistols.
Right.
They're both even, pretty much even on the pull-ups. So more reps on the pistols actually yields a little bit more time that she can gain on Karissa Pearce.
15 is the number they need to hit before they go to the other end of the floor, and we now have just about 8 minutes to go before we hit the 20-minute cap, and they are going to work for the entire 20 minutes here, as this is as many reps as possible of 5 handstand push-ups, 10 one-legged squats, and then 15 pull-ups. And it's Karissa Pearce, middle of your screen in the green shorts and the headband, who is your leader. Jamie Greene is in second, and Kristin Holte on the left of your screen is in third, trying to hold off Tia Toomey. If Toomey just stays close to these women, she'll probably hold on to the overall lead, because the woman closest to her right now in the overall standings is Amanda Barnhart. She's way back in the pack. She's not a factor right now in this heat. As Karissa Pearce is the first one done with 15 rounds, and she will move on to the other end of the floor and continue the work, as we have just about 7 minutes left here, and here comes Jamie Greene. Pearce right to work on round 16.
Still sticking with the strict handstand push-ups. She has the ability to. They are faster, and as we approach the last 7 minutes of the event, that can save her some time, because Greene has a bit faster pace when it comes to the pistol portion of each consecutive round.
Score to beat Bethany Shadburn. She got into her 21st round in heat number 1, 609 total repetitions.
And it looks like Kristin Holte is trying to close the gap a little bit between these two ladies.
It's Pearce, Greene, Holte in third, and now Tia Toomey in fourth. And Tia Toomey is just now trying to cling to the overall lead. She's got to just stay close to these women. As long as she stays close, she will not surrender enough points for any of them to overtake her in the standing. Kristin Holte is the closest. She would need to make up 24 points in order to overtake Toomey in the overall standings.
See, Karissa Pearce on the right side of the screen is actually punching herself in the legs, and that to me is that cramping. Cramping is starting to come at a lot of these athletes. We saw it happen to Logan Collins in his calf around the exact same time in this event.
Well, and it's got to be compounded by that Ruck run that they did earlier, and then the sprint.
The sprint with the sled.
Yeah.
Katrin Davidsdottir and Annie Thorisdottir have also fallen off the lead pace. Both of these women are inside the cut line, but they are certainly not safe, as Thorisdottir is now done with 15. She's in 13th place overall, and Katrin Davidsdottir is in 15th place. So Thorisdottir now getting set to start round 16. Pearce is through 17 rounds. Now, Karissa Pearce, to overtake Tia Toomey, she would need to win this event. She would need to get 100 points, and then Toomey would have to finish in 9th. That is Anna Fragkow, who is in danger of falling out of the top 10. And she is now on the other side of the floor with the overall leaders. Inside 5 to go, about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Karissa Pearce continues to lead. Kristin Holte in second, and it's Tia Toomey in third. Pearce to start round 19. She's on the right. Holte and Greene trying to close out round 18 on their own.
And Kristin Holte has now overtaken Jamie Greene.
Holte all by herself in second, but not by much. Here comes Jamie Greene.
Amazing that the two lead ladies in this heat, both Karissa Pearce and Kristin Holte, are still doing strict handstand push-ups.
We said it before, this event is not this easy. It is criminal how easy these women are making this look right now.
Carrie Pearce with 19 rounds down, 3.5 minutes to go. She's definitely on pace to beat Bethany Shadburn's 20-plus rounds.
This is round 20 for Carrie Pearce. Started to separate herself early. And has held on to the lead for the entirety of this event so far. Now, Kristin Holte has moved away from Jamie Greene, who's at the bottom of your screen. So Kristin Holte, who comes in third place overall, most likely going to be in second place after this event. Tia Toomey just needs to stay close. Again, if Carrie Pearce wants to overtake Toomey in this event, if she wins it, that's Carrie Pearce, she would need Toomey to finish in 9th.
I'm still amazed how easy she makes those handstand push-ups look. Her biggest weapon is that, and she's using it, I mean, wielding it against the rest of the competition floor, because it's not the speed that she's doing the handstand push-ups, but it's from pull-up bar to wall, where she's rushing to get to them where everyone else is resting.
Carrie Pearce finishes this round. She's now your new event leader. She gets into her 22nd round. She will now have the top time. Kristin Holte is back to the handstand push-ups. And now on to the pistols. Carrie Pearce is done with her 21st round, and she is now your heat leader and your event leader, as she has surpassed Bethany Shadburn. Less than 2 to go, about 1 minute 47 seconds, 37 make that. Now 90 seconds. Top 4 have remained the same for most of this event. Carrie Pearce in first, Kristin Holte in second, it's Jamie Greene in third, and overall leader Tia Toomey, middle of your screen in the white top, she is in fourth. One minute to go here, final heat. Carrie Pearce into round 23. Carrie Pearce looking to work her way back inside the top 3 because she is well ahead of Amanda Barnhart, who came in second place, and Pearce trailed her by just 11 points. Barnhart going to the chalk bucket left of your screen. "30 seconds for Carrie Pearce. 23rd round of pull-ups. Unbelievable for Carrie Pearce, who looks like she's going to do this unbroken. 10 seconds to go. 23 rounds for Carrie Pearce.
Look at those handstand push-ups. Look at the speed she still has on those.
5 reps more for Carrie Pearce. 100 points more for Carrie Pearce as she looks to get back inside the top 3 and put some more pressure on overall leader Tia Toomey.
I don't even look like that after 1 round of Mary.
This is insane. Like I said, criminal how easy they're making this look.
It's like double thumbs up after doing 200,000 pistols. I do 10 and I give you the double bird. That's unbelievable. Just like you said, wow.
We're going to need to see where the overall standings shake out, but Tia Toomey may have done enough to hang on to the overall lead. It's likely that Amanda Barnhart's going to fall out of the top 3. Kristin Holte will narrow the gap between herself and Tia Toomey, and as will Carrie Pearce. The top 3 looking like it could be Toomey, Holte, and Pearce, and then Jamie Greene's going to slide up as well. But Tia Toomey may have done enough to hang on to that overall leader's jersey. And early in this event, as Annie Thorisdottir gets some high fives from the crowd as she looks to stay inside the top 20 and stay alive for the next event here, or whenever that cut is going to be made. We assume it's going to be made after this event, but we haven't gotten confirmation on that. Catherine Davidsdottir, another woman who is trying to stay inside the top 20 is, yes, the cuts will be made after this event, but Karissa Pearce, I mean, just wrap your head around this. Strict handstand push-ups for the entire event. She kipped early, but then went to strict later.
Who starts a strict or kipping handstand push-up? You know what? This is not working for me. I'm going to back it down to strict.
I'm going to make it tougher.
Too close for kipping handstand push-ups. We're switching to strict. That's what we're doing. I mean,
this
Karissa
is just
Pearce,
too easy.
man.
The
Fierce Pearce right there.
unbroken
Pull-ups
towards the end.
Yep. Again, we knew that she's got a lot of upper body pulling strength and stamina, but to do 23 rounds unbroken on the last one.
Now we know how skilled you are with those push-pull movements, unbroken pull-ups, strict handstand push-ups all the way to the end, but I saw you doing a little knock-in on the quads there. What was going on?
Yeah, so my quad and calf actually started cramping up, and I actually broke up some of the pull-ups to 8 and 7, and I had to jump up twice, and I was like, my calves feel like they're cramping. Don't wuss out, just do them unbroken the rest of the way, because that's one less jump. So I was a little nervous after like round probably 13, my quad, started cramping, so I need a little more hydration, I guess.
I guess a little bit. Moving on now afterwards you were able to sort of like run across the finish, giving high fives. You seem really amped. What does this win mean for you for the rest of the weekend here?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many talented girls that are such great athletes. You go out there, you do your best, and you hope to win, and the wins don't come very often, so you got to take advantage of it while you can. And I could hear the crowd, especially in the last 5 rounds, and I was like, well, I could slow down because the girls aren't like as close, but there was too much energy, and that's why I had to run the wall and get a few more handstand push-ups at the end, just because I could.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Karissa Pearce had to break up her pull-ups.
Well,
she's terrible.
She had to break them up because her legs were cramping.
I mean, come on.
Not because her shoulders were cramping.
Just come on. Just get out of here with that. I had to break them up.
I just listened to a 90-second humble brag. That's what I was like, you know what? All right, I'll go unbroken the rest of the way.
Fine,
no
if you want me to.
And I'm going to go strict unbroken just because I can.
Well, that's the third top 3 finish for Karissa Pearce in this competition. It's her first event win. The question remains as to where that's going to put her in the overall standings. Looking like it's going to move her into at least second place. Don't know if Tia Toomey is going to hang on to the overall lead. We actually do. That's probably going to happen. Toomey will be in the overall lead, but what happens behind her? Now that's a question. But we do know it's going to be close. Man, it was a fun day here on day number 2. We started out with that great ruck run, and then we had the strongman sphere, some nails out on the field. Devastation on the sprint couplet. Noah Ohlsen gets his first event win. I mean, what more could you want here on day number 2? We're going to wrap it all up here, go to break. Stay with us, though, because we're going to be back on the Rogue Iron game to put a nice bow on day number 2 of the 2019 Reebok CrossFit Games.